The word sacrifice may bring to mind images of satanic ritual or the Old Testament story of Abraham climbing the mountain with his son Isaac in tow. What if I told you that sacrifice can mean something much less scary? In this video, I intend to share with you a bit about the historical and religious concepts of sacrifice, review the magical perspectives on this topic, and highlight some ways that you, dear magical practitioner, can begin to utilize this potent energy-producing rite into your daily magical practice. Welcome to the channel, folks. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things magical practices and altered states. Now, the idea of sacrifice may have most people shudder from the thought of ending a life to please some unseen divine being. The truth is, sacrificial practices have been around since the dawn of man. Various civilizations have engaged in rituals of sacrifice to establish a connection with a higher power and to seek favor in their eyes. These early practices laid the foundation for the spiritual significance of sacrifice. Across different faiths and belief systems, sacrifice emerged as a powerful expression of devotion. From the Vedic rituals in Hinduism to the burnt offerings in Jewish tradition, it became a symbolic act of surrender, demonstrating a profound commitment to one's spiritual path. The term sacrifice comes from the Latin sacrificium, which is a combination of the words sacer, meaning something set apart from the secular or profane for the use of supernatural powers, and facere, meaning to make. So in essence, with sacrifice, one is making something sacred. It also relates to the definition of something given up for the sake of another. It is known as an object or a way of offering to a deity to make connection and build relationship. As civilizations delved into the mystical arts, sacrifice became intertwined with magic and alchemy. Practitioners believed that the act of sacrifice could unleash potent energies, serving as a catalyst for transformation. This fusion of spirituality and magic brought a new dimension to the practice. Sacrifice was not merely a physical act, but a language of symbolism and intent. Whether it was the Mayans offering maize or the Druids celebrating the harvest, the choice of offerings and the intention behind them played a crucial role in these ancient rituals. Like any powerful tool, sacrifice has its dual nature. In the realm of darkness, it can be associated with manipulation and control. Conversely, in the realm of light, it transforms into a selfless act, a means to attain spiritual enlightenment and growth. As time progressed, different cultures brought their unique flavors to the practice of sacrifice, contributing to the diverse tapestry of rituals while highlighting the universality and cultural impacts on spiritual practice. In our modern era, the concept of sacrifice has again evolved, and while some still adhere to traditional rituals, others find meaning in random acts of kindness or being of service. Sacrifice in today's context is a bridge between ancient wisdom and contemporary understanding. Ultimately, it's up to each person to figure out what sacrifice looks like for them. As a Scorpio, I love the idea of birth, death, and rebirth, and so have found the practice of sacrifice a great way to open up the doors of possibility. And what I've learned is that it doesn't have to be harmful or scary. Now, I'm going to share a few of my favorite ways to practice sacrifice so you can boost your own magical practice, deepen your connection to your divinity, and move with more ease through the cycles of life. Number one is fasting. As humans, we spend a lot of time gathering and socializing over a meal. During a fast, one is giving up the pleasures of food, drink, or both to connect to the divine. Spiritual teachers such as Jesus have been known to have fasted for several days throughout their lifetime. And many spiritual followers still utilize these methods of fasting as a way to deepen their connection to spirit. When we fast, we are basically telling spirit, hey, I'm sacrificing this pleasurable thing as a form of devotion to you. It also helps us build discipline and willpower when we can say no to that plate of chocolate chip cookies cooling on the counter. I've tried various forms of fasting, from intermittent fasting for metabolic reasons to longer 4-day Vision Quest fasts where we're not allowed any food or water. And the longest fast I've completed was a 7-day water fast, and I can tell you that the level of understanding I gained about my relation to food and the world around me was exponentially increased. Though I wouldn't recommend long periods of fasting for everyone, I think there are benefits to all forms of fasting when done appropriately and when you're physically well enough to do so. You can also do a fast like Lent where you give up a favorite food or drink for a predetermined period. You can also abstain from other favorites like cannabis, caffeine, sugar as a way of sacrificing your pleasures to spirit. Again, with this practice of fasting, you are sacrificing your pleasure and gaining willpower along with a deeper understanding of yourself. It can be a powerful way to practice sacrifice. Number 2, offerings. A common way of sacrificing is to offer something up, as in the Latin origin of the word itself. A sacrifice is seen as making something secular into a profane gift to the divine. In a sacrificial offering, we can offer anything that we feel called to. Back in the day, these offerings were less than consensual, people offering up animal or even human sacrifices. I'm not making these suggestions here, as many of those practices are illegal and plain out disturbing. What I am saying is that there are so many other ways you can prepare something to offer up to the divine as a form of sacrifice. It can be as simple as buying flowers or cooking a deity's favorite meal, which you offer to them upon your altar. Look at what your particular deity or sacred partner is drawn to and create something from the heart. For instance, when working with the goddess Babylon, I found offering anything red, such as the sweet taste of wine or semi-tart raspberries with dark chocolate, to be a suitable offering with prayers. These especially are potent when I go out and intentionally purchase or make these items myself. The exchange of money and other energy can be a potent indication of your dedication. The more time and energy you commit to your offering, the more energy dedicated to the divine. So instead of buying something, consider making it from scratch. Spend time putting your energy and devotion into it, and then offer it up with a prayer and place it in an appropriate spot, such as your altar, or in an area devoted to your particular deity. When offering food or other biodegradable items, I'll let it sit for a few days so that the energy can be absorbed by the spirits. And when it feels complete, I then take it to a tree or offer it someplace sacred in nature. Now, no one likes a litter, so be conscious of where you're placing your offerings. Make sure it's safe to leave in areas where pets or animals may be inhabiting. Number 3, letting go. Sometimes we're called by spirit to let go of something far greater, something perhaps that we have been holding on to. In this practice, we are called to offer up our attachments. For some, this may be releasing control of how our career path is going to look, or perhaps a relationship with someone we feel really connected to. We have to be willing to relinquish control and trust that whatever is meant for us is for us. When we sacrifice our attachments, we're telling the universe, I trust you, and you're willing to see what possibilities are waiting for you. You can utilize this sacrificial process towards any attachment, whether it's physical, spiritual, or psychological. Now, this isn't an easy practice by any means, but it is so worth it. Number 4, sex and celibacy. Finally, one that may have some of you unhappy with me is around using celibacy, the practice of withholding sexual experiences in one's life. The word celibacy itself was initially defined as alone living, and it wasn't until the 1950s that the word itself came to be seen as voluntary abstinence from sexuality. Many spiritual teachers and even business entrepreneurs have spoken to the importance of abstaining from sexual activities such as masturbation or intercourse. The reason for this is celibacy's ability to increase our sexual creative energy when we do not dispel it during a sexual interaction. For this reason, you can use your sexual energy, which is really the most potent form of creative life force, to increase your willpower, manifest your desires, and deepen your connection to your inner power, which is your divinity. A powerful way to do this is to hold off from any sexual experiences for a period of time, say a week to several weeks, and then use that as sacrifice to devote yourself to the divine or any creative projects. When your clock is up, you can utilize sex magic to boost your desired outcome or offer that sexual experience up to the spirit or a particular deity. Such wonderful fun can happen within our sexual playtime, and spirit desires this for us. Why else would we experience pleasure from these activities? If you are curious about sex magic, I have another video sharing some ways to utilize this practice more. You can click the link here to watch it. So as you can see, there are so many ways in which one can explore the idea of sacrifice without having to pay for a goat in the underground market. Way cheaper and much more consensual. And I'm curious, what are some ways you've explored sacrifice in your own magical practice? You can let us know in the comments below, of course, and the art of magic is a journey of a lifetime, and there's only one way to do it, your way. So as always, remember to keep your magic true to you. And until the next time, folks, stay curious.